Hey there. So welcome. I'm looking down here to see what's coming up. Welcome to week 41. And I can't believe it. Week 41 of the Chakra Wisdom Oracle Toolkit, the 52-week journey with the Lost Fables. And when I talk about Lost Fables, I'm talking about the fables that the card deck became. So actually when you get the deck, and actually behind me is the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, and next to it is the Korean version. I kind of like the way the Korean cards feel. They're just they're more matte. They're just, I don't know, they're just different feel. So it's probably like, I don't know, some kind of thing. But anyway, they're absolutely beautiful. And I think I mentioned in the first week of the 6th chakra, I talked about using a card that isn't in your language. So as you're noticing every week, even though it may seem like I do things similarly, I like to change it up. I like to give you a different perspective or something that you didn't get last week, or change what I did, because part of this is that I'm speaking to your intuition in this workshop, fun shop progress thing. So as we work with personal growth, our brain detects patterns, and it will start to, it's kind of like if you think of the computer having a cache, right? So every time something comes up, the computer's going to pull up that same first page, even if it's been updated. So part of what I do, and the reason I'm doing this, is because I want your brain to be so confused that you can only hear with your intuition. That's how it rolls. So, and part of this whole journey, part of this whole process is really being your guide to your own intuition. So if you think about it as I'm just holding the door open for you, I'm not pushing you through. I'm not saying you have to go here. I'm saying here's the door and welcome. So when we look at the card of gratitude, and I want to talk about this because it's the 4th card in the 7-week journey. Oh my gosh, we're already there, week 41. Anyway, because it resonates with the heart chakra, how interesting is it that the particular illustration has the largest heart in the deck? And then when we look at this, it literally can be interpreted in so many ways. It can be 2 women in love. It can be a couple. It can be best friends. It can be sisters. And one of the things that I really love about this deck is that while you can read the fable and get the meaning of it, you can still take it. And when you understand this journey, when you understand how your heart works in an intuitive way, you might be sitting there and reading a client and be talking about her and her wife. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be because this letter is written to the baby. It doesn't need to be, this is the best friend. Well, it could be the best friend if they're married. But I mean, I'm saying that there's a real nice way to change up and reinterpret this deck in a way that reflects your world. And I think that a lot of decks now will do that, but they're trying to do it in a way that is visual as opposed to intuitive. And some decks just, you know, don't visually do that. Some do. Chakra Wisdom Oracle does. So let's see. The key word for this fable is gratitude. So we look on the card and that says gratitude in Korean, and the actual name of the fable is Lucy from Indigo. And you can see Lucy right there. And Lucy is the gift of friendship. She is the wise person. She is the one who has gifted us with her talent and who she is. One of the things that I want to say is it's the other person who's really growing and admiring her. But when you read this card deck, I want you to recognize when you look at this, there's actually 3 roles. And we're going to, in our life, play all 3 roles. You're going to play the baby, right? You were unborn at one time. You are going to play the mother role, whether you give birth or not. You will play that role of being the guide. And then, of course, there's the mentee, someone who learns from the wiser person, if you will, or the one who sets the tone. So you're going to, at some point, be in each of these roles. And part of this key is to look at which role you are in if you're looking at it for yourself. So the other thing that's very interesting is the 6th chakra is technically, it is it is assigned to the color of indigo in our Western chakra system. Now, oh, I'm sorry, it's green, but the fourth chakra is, but the sixth chakra, my brain went, whoop, what? So the sixth chakra is actually indigo. And this is actually the most proper one in the 7 cards. It hits the bullseye of the sixth chakra, which is intuition, family dynamics, and look at the 3 roles, right? So one of the things that you can also look at here is you can look at child, infant, sister, and mother. You can look at those roles. You can really look at the roles here. There's many, many interpretations because it's the direct hit of indigo, which means that as this particular fable is, it sits in the center of those purple cards. So what has come before are the things we are building from our intuition, the things that our intuition has built for us in our life, and the things that we will build in the future come from this particular, are coming from our ideas around the issues in this card. So again, as you know, I'm not reading you the fable, and I really encourage you each week to read the fable. If you do nothing else but read the fable, that is the key. So I'm going to give you a couple quick pointers on this, the message of the week. I think I'm just going to read it. I'm kind of in the mood to just read it and share it with you. It says, this week we look at the power of gratitude to fill us with love. And I want to say that a lot of people are like, it just sounds so airy-fairy, right? But on one level, what I want to share with you, as we bring the energy up and into our sixth chakra, we can actually feel, if we bring white light into it, we can actually feel that higher consciousness pushing up. And that's the idea, is that energy of love is the highest calling. So imagine pulling that light up into your sixth chakra. And as it's in there, we just imagine that white light. And white light is the love consciousness. So how you feel may be different than how it feels, but it will impact you, which is really key to this. Okay, so while the fable is a simple letter to an unborn child from the mother's best friend, it also represents the unborn child in us all. Are you ready? Are you willing to allow yourself to live at this level of extraordinary gratitude? And, one thing I will give you is a phrase to play with this week. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I didn't start saying that until it was a Southern thing, where I get on the phone, because I've moved to the South in America now, Southeast. And, I'll be talking to somebody and, power company or whatever. I'm saying, yeah, and then this and this and this. All right, ma'am, I'll take care of it. Appreciate you. And I'm like, that's so nice. Like, I appreciate you. Like, so really saying that, and I appreciate you I appreciate you, period. Just really, it's an energy of, there's a difference between, well, I love you and I appreciate you. And if someone says what I do, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful that you're here and have chosen to be in my life. And that is such a powerful thing to give people. People are craving that level of appreciation and connection. So I say to you, stay in that mode, be in that zone, and continue it. That's really important. So I appreciate you. Will be something that you might want to play with this week. And that, by the way, becomes an extraordinary level of gratitude. And of course, my tip, it says Tori's tip, but okay. Love can come from unexpected sources. While some of us were born into challenging families, this table's a reminder that someone somewhere loved us before we were even born. When we look at the idea of multi-generational healing, this becomes very important. And that is a key to a lot of this work. Ultimately, you begin to heal yourself and it spreads to other generations as you connect. And the thing I want to say, let me look at this for a minute. This is important. Okay. the first impressions, and I want to encourage you to read this little first impressions. I'm not going to share it with you. It's on page 175. As I said, you have the Kindle, it's a different page, but it's the first impressions after you've read the fable. And I really want to hear you comment below on how that first impressions strikes you. What is it about that that is hitting you today? And it will give me a chance to share with you what I see from your comment. Let's see. Okay. The intention for the week becomes important in this because gratitude relies upon practice and intention. You know, and I'm not saying zone, you know, some people just like zone out on like, oh, I'm so grateful. And I get it. But you know, at a certain point, it can alienate if we're not real. If I don't share with you the real part of me, you know, the part of me that has ADHD, the part of me that struggles with certain things. So I think it's great to go into that zone, but I think the important, and I can, by the way, I can step into that higher zone and I can share with you at that level and really be focused and with you. And it's important to let you know that that's one of my, you know, secret sauce things, right? My secret sauce is like, oh, I can do that. But I think that that doesn't mean that I don't have daily challenges. It means that one of the issues around having challenges in your life is that the more tools you master, the more challenges you will walk through because you're elevating yourself. You see, the idea that people stop at a certain point because they don't want to take the challenge. And you know why? They don't have the tools. Most people don't take the time like you are to learn some of these tools, to learn what it takes to step into a challenging situation. So setting an intention for a week and saying, okay, I'm going to meet things with gratitude this week. And what that means is I'm going to look at something and say, I appreciate you, even if I don't feel it in the moment. And then I'm going to notice how I feel, like I'm really angry about XYZ. You know, it's funny, right before this, I got off the phone, and everything in life is this, right? And I've been putting off this thing. I ordered a credit card a year ago that I've never used. And of course now they're billing me. And this particular bank, for the annual fee, this particular bank like calls you at all hours of the night and all this stuff. And I've been like, and I noticed for me that it was just something I chose to be angry about. So I called up to cancel it. And of course, we can't help you. And I finally get to the one guy, and I don't understand what he's really saying. But he starts with, well, we have a problem. And I said, okay. You know, like, and immediately, right, that's a trigger. We, what do you mean we? You have a problem, you know. But I just went, no, that's okay. He can say whatever he wants. And then he said, I can cancel this for you. It's no problem. But I need to tell you how dangerous it is that you haven't called for a year. And whoa. I said, I don't want to lecture. And that was good for me. I said, you know, I really appreciate that this is important to you and it's part of your job, but I'm well over 40 and I am aware of the repercussions and things that happen when I don't take care of things. And I don't need a lecture, but I do understand what you're trying to say, but I don't want it. I simply want to cancel this and correct a mistake I made. And he went, okay. And he immediately probably went to the next page on his script. And I said to him at the end, I said, I just want you to know I appreciate you. He said, yeah, you too, you know, and it's okay. Like, I just don't want that shaming lecture, because I know what I did. I made a mistake and I was able to say it, but I was also able to say, I don't want the lecture. So that becomes important when we look at this too. It's like, I appreciated that he did that for me, but I also in the call was able to say, I don't want that. You know, I made a mistake and I'm owning it, but you know, I really don't need that part. So let's see. Okay. Think about the energetic gifts you receive from your childhood. Now I'm just going to give you one of mine. Man, I can think on my feet faster than anybody else. Cause with my mother, I could see that plate, frying pan, empty glass come flying at me. And I was like, you know, and I sucked at dodgeball because I didn't feel there were any stakes there. It wasn't going to hurt, you know, but I was great in the house. I'd be like, oh, boom, boom, boom. And so my brain became that way too. I can't help but think that in some ways it helped create and facilitate some of my ADHD, but I also think that, there are gifts that we get when we have to create a survival mode in our life. So that is part of all this. Let's see. We forget that there are those who helped us and have made sure we survived. And I need to say that because if you're here right now, all right, even if you got no help from your family, none, if you are like, kind of like in pain or what have you, somebody's helping you. Somebody's helping you sustain what you have. So recognizing that you may not have gotten it. Yeah, I didn't get nothing. Okay, I want to validate that for you. And somebody has helped you survive. And that little morsel, that little seed can be planted for self-esteem. And okay, so this week, set an intention to be grateful for the people who have loved you, even though you might not have recognized it at the time. And, they don't have to love you romantically. They can be loving toward you. It can be the person who says, are you lost? Can I help you? And you say, yeah, I am. And they go, well, it's right here. And they walk you to the door. Or the person at the supermarket who's like, can I help you? I mean, in the South, it's like, can I help you? And you're like, no, I just want to find cereal, and they're like, oh, let me walk you over there. And you're like, really? What's wrong with you? And then over time you melt. I'm a New Yorker. Over time you melt and you go, thank you, appreciate you. And it just has a rhythm to it. So I want you to really get this week that there is a rhythm to gratitude. There's a rhythm to the tools we need to, like I was afraid to make that call because I didn't want to be shamed. And what happened? He shamed me. But you see, I also anticipated it. And I let him know that I didn't want it. And that's something, even though it's uncomfortable for me and I get so triggered by it, I can still go, okay, I don't want it. And that's something that will help you move up in your life. And when I say up, success is chakra evolution. Success is being able to evolve through the wisdom in each of our chakras. It really isn't about how much money you have in the bank, although I wish I had that kind of level at this moment. So maybe I can create that. But I think that, it is really about your chakra evolution. And when we get to next week, which is week 5, it's about what are we communicating through our intuitive energy and what is the power of forgiveness. And I'll see you then.